Hello everyone, it is Briximus Prime back for another McFarlane Toys action figure video, and today we're going to be taking a look at the McFarlane Toys My Hero Academia Izuku in Midoriya, or Deku. And specifically they just call it Izuku Midoriya, just like the main release one, so I'm not quite sure what to call this particular version, but it's the full cowling, I guess, is what it is. And now, taking a look at Izuku's stupid face. Taking a look at the packaging, it says his name, Izuku Midoriya, 12+. It's got a window showcasing the figure. It says My Hero Academia. It's got a bit of the cast right there on the top. Again, My Hero Academia here on the side, Izuku Midoriya here on the back. It advertises him in his anime artwork, as well as advertising some of the characters that have action figures as well. Part of me does want to get a couple more of these, like All Might, but the thing is, part of me also wants to get those amazing Yamaguchi, more high-quality Japanese ones. It's just the only problem is, yeah. And yes, I am a fan of My Hero Academia. I've even read some of the manga, I've seen all of the movies, I have watched the anime in both sub and dub, and am currently watching it in both sub and dub with the current season. And before you guys go and be like, Briximus is a weeb! No! Weebs have body pillows. My head does rest, however, on a Transformers pillowcase. Sadly, though, Midoriya here doesn't really come with a whole lot of accessories, which is a real shame because he is a very action-packed character who I feel like deserves a whole lot more accessories than this. But at least they included some extra hands, because McFarlane Toys has been notorious for not including hands that are necessary to their action figures. Nice marketing, Todd! Comes with this black base with the My Hero Academia logo on it, and it does have a peg right here to plug him on. I always like having these, but honestly, who really gives a shit? Deku does come with these fudge. He includes a pair of fists, and then these open, kind of action-y kind of hands, usually put on him when he's like in the middle of a jumping action or something. Also, just on terms of accessories, Midoriya does have these like lightning or kinetic energy effects that are around his arms, and I'm not sure if they were meant to be removable or not, but they do not want to come out, and I don't want to risk breaking them off, and they can't go back on, so I'm just going to leave them on his arms, because they honestly don't really get in the way of posability all that much, which is something I appreciate about them. And I like the clear plastic they used on them. They're very bright, vibrant, and I like just how like static and electrifying it looks. And now coming to the head sculpt, this is the version of Midoriya that I prefer. A lot of people seem to like the whole nervous, quirky, kind of, high school kid who cries a lot. And like, I prefer Deku when he's battle hardened and he's ready to go. I mean, he's supposed to be a superhero fighting villains, not a crybaby. So this is why I also had bought this version of Midoriya and not the other version, because I prefer this because I feel like this face and this figure captures that whole essence of what I like about Deku, and that's why I own this particular version and why it's my first My Hero Academia figure. And again, the hair here looks really good on the head. I'm surprised by how well and how accurate it looks to the anime and manga. And overall, I like how it came out. I do feel like it maybe could have used a little bit of black paint in there, but overall, the actual like natural shadows that come out of it from the light, as you can see, I feel like already does a good job at it, that it doesn't need any paint at all. Also, the face here looks good. Like I said, teeth and everything look good. I like his angry expression and the the pink, pinkish purple static electricity. Well, it's meant to be pink, but on the chest here, because it's on a because it's like painted and printed on this dark green here, it really makes it look more like a purplish more than a pink, but overall, I don't think it ruins the effect for me overall. Deku's design here is pretty nice. I like the white shoulder pads with that black wash on it to pick out the raised details. And he has his gloves right there. And then again, he's got these red pouches here on his belt, and the lightning here, or kinetic energy, static electricity, whatever you want to call it, comes down onto his big old boots here. And overall, I like the black here, and the red shoes look very, very nice. I like how he's got He even has them all tied and everything. He's even got treads on the bottom of the feet. He has a peg hole for the stand. And this hood here that he never uses looks pretty nice as well. My only issue is, or at least one of my biggest issues with the figure in general, is this thing does not move at all. So it makes head posability very, very limited. Which, speaking of posability, he has a ball joint at the head which allows for swiveling and looking up and down, but if you move it too much, yeah, it pops off. He has a ball joint socket here on the shoulder, which allows for back and forward movement with a butterfly joint in there. They can move in and out, as you can see, and they can rotate a full 360. Bicep swivel, double jointed elbows. This one doesn't really like to bend all the way in, but it's just because one of these joints is a little bit stiff on my copy. His wrists can swivel, and they do hinge up and down, and if you rotate the peg, you can get some side to side. He does have a diaphragm joint, which does allow for waist swiveling, arching back, ab crunch. He does have an actual waist proper, which allows for even more diaphragm pivot. There's actually quite a bit here. Does allow for a little more arching back, a little more crunch. Very limited waist swiveling, but this one does it just fine. Hips can rotate forward that far. They can't really kick back at all. They can move outward that far. He does get a very limited thigh swivel. Double jointed knees. And then his ankles can hinge up and down, but if you rotate the peg, you can make an ankle pivot. And then he also has some toe articulation. So overall, pretty good stuff here on Deku, I'd say. It's just a real shame that trying to get him into some poses makes... I'm not sure if this is a fault with my copy only or if it's with everybody's, but mine has this problem where when you go to pose the shoulder and it breaks off. Then again, Izuku here breaking his arms is just accurate to the anime. Oh, got him. So, like, it is possible to get him into some decent, action-packed, dynamic poses. I just feel like a more high-end, kind of Japanese figure would give you a little bit more of a run for your money. In full honesty, for this being for how much it is, it's actually not that bad. It's just you need to get a little bit creative with the articulation. Now, sadly, when it comes to comparisons, I don't got a whole lot to compare this guy to when it comes to other My Hero Academia figures. I mean, the only thing I've got is the McFarlane Toys 5-inch static All Might figure, which isn't much of a comparison because these are out of scale. These ones are for the more collectors. These are for actual, like, little kids. So this isn't really that much of a fair comparison, but again, I don't got that much. Here he is compared next to another, like, superhero, anti-hero kind of character. Here he is next to Spawn, who's another McFarlane Toys, I guess, superhero character. So I guess there's that comparison, but again, I don't really got much to go off here. And then here's Izuku Midoriya compared next to the Marvel Legends Spider-Man. And on it, this isn't that great of a comparison. It's just another superhero figure I thought I'd throw in. But technically, McFarlane Toys kind of has their own like 7-inch scale kind of thing, and the Marvel Legends have like a 6-inch scale. So they're obviously off here. But anyway, it's just a comparison just so I can pattern out the length of this video that little bit longer. Let's just be glad that I didn't have a Bakugo figure to compare this guy with, or else I'd be getting the weird side of the My Hero fandom.
It was clear that a romance was blossoming between them.
No.
And yeah, that is basically it for my review on the McFarlane Toys Izuku Midoriya, the full cowling or powered up version. I don't know what to call it. Overall, I think it's a pretty good figure. I mean, the articulation is pretty limited, but the more I think about it, the only part of it that's actually like limited is the thigh swivel. If the thigh swivel was a better, build quality, this guy would have been pretty good. But again, I feel a little bit more sour about this figure because of the arm falling off. I still want to get that amazing Yamaguchi Revel Tech one, because that figure does look really, really poseable, and again, it has that same kind of feeling as this one does, only it's, got more accessories and a way more posability. The only problem is its price is so high. This figure was just so easy to get because it's only like $20, and again, I love the paint deco of it being all powered up and everything, so it's like, I do like the figure, I just feel like it's a little bit limited. I feel like it should have maybe had some extra accessories, maybe some extra, like, lightning effects, maybe even, like, some effect parts with like smash and pow and bam and whatever. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like this guy is worth the $20. It's just the other part why I feel a little sour about it is because his arm keeps falling off, and it does get really irritating when trying to get creative with his posability, and then the arm just comes off out of nowhere. So I might have to go in and modify that, but I also don't like how the head keeps popping off because of the limited shoulder collar piece, you know, the mask that he doesn't use. So if I had to give this figure a rating, I give him a solid 6 out of 10. I don't absolutely love him, but I don't hate him either. He's an all-right figure. So yeah, that is basically it for this review. If you guys enjoyed it, be sure to give me a like on the video. Let me know what you guys think of my first My Hero Academia review. Again, I'm trying to get a lot of variety of things to review for the channel besides Transformers, even though that's the main focus. But anyway, that is basically it for this review. If you enjoyed it, like, comment, share, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time.